Okay, we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Get Growing weekly work session with GetOiling. We're joined today by our founders, Greg and Amanda Kilwine, and by a special guest, Jen Blumberg, who I'm going to bring out and have chat with you guys here in just a little bit. Today, we're going to talk about how to show up and be an uplifting voice for your community, for your tribe, why it's important to really embody that right now, and really at the end of the day, what that can do for you, for your business, and for your community. So I've got a few slides that I want to share with you guys, and we have, like I mentioned, special guests and also a special gift to share. Really excited to share that with you guys. As you're coming in the chat, let us know where you're coming in from. The weather is starting to get gorgeous up here in New York City, where I live. Tell us how things are going where you are. Really excited to have you all here, and grateful to have you as part of our community. Jen, did you guys did you guys make it through those tornadoes the other day? My mom was like hunkered down in a hallway in Alabama, like for a day.
We were in the basement, went downstairs in the middle of the night in the basement, and then school was canceled the next day. And I think and then a week later it was flash flood. So February was eventful.
What a time to be alive. I think the last time you were on with us, there had just been another round of that crazy weather.
Yes.
Yes. Having grown up in Alabama, it's just another Tuesday, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So we're seeing people come in the chat. How's everybody doing out there? Can you read some of those off, team?
All right, we got Portland, Oregon. Let's see, Arkansas, Virginia.
Awesome. We got people coming in from everywhere. All right. So back to it, guys. Today, we're going to talk about how you can be an uplifting voice for your tribe. And we're going to talk about how you can show up right now in your business, in your life, with a message of hope, how you can be of service first, and why that is so critical, whether in this moment that we're all in together, or just generally speaking, this is something that we need to be doing. And then really importantly, and this is something that I think can be confusing to a lot of people, especially getting started, what does it really mean to build relationships in the context of growing your business? And then we've got a special guest and a gift from her. Jen is with Modern Companion. They are a fabulous resource for our GetOiling community. They create really cool content that you are going to learn more about if you don't know about it already. And then, of course, we'll do Q&A. So if you came here today and you need specific help, guidance with your business, with strategies, with tech, go ahead and add your questions to the Q&A. We are here for you. We're here to help. We hold this work session every Thursday for anyone looking to grow a business with Young Living. And it is really just open season question and answer time. So feel free to plug those in now. We will be hitting up the Q&A at the end of our call. All right, so just a couple of quick things, guys, and this is not an easy thing to adhere to, but how we show up right now in our world on social media and in our relationships with others really matters. It's always true, but in the moment that we are all in right now, the global moment that we're in right now, it really matters how we show up for each other. And we have to remember at the end of the day that you are the reason why people say yes to Young Living. Not because, of some study that proves that some combination of oils does a thing. That's not why people say yes to Young Living. People say yes to Young Living because of you. It's not because Thieves is great. They say yes to Young Living because of you. We've got to remember that at the end of the day. Everything boils down to our relationships and how we show up to each other. And that is going to ultimately be the kicker in terms of how and whether people get started with you. And it all, again, boils down to how you show up. I always start talking and then these slides are things that I already said because it's in my head. How you build those relationships. So I want you guys go ahead and in the chat say hello and thank Jen for being here. This is Jen of Modern Companion. We are going to be hopping off of slides here to just kind of talk back and forth about these things, about how we can show up right now and spread that message of hope, and how Jen has started doing this with her own team and how you can be doing this as well. So I'm going to pop right on out of this. And we could get this thing going. Awesome. Hey, Jen.
Hey, hey.
All right. So you have, well, I guess first let's talk a little bit about what Modern Companion does and how, if you are with GetOiling, if you're using GetOiling, how they might be able to use what you create.
For sure. Absolutely. So Modern Companion is, it is a content source for text and email for GetOiling. This, I started it early fall last year, or maybe mid fall, I guess, 2019. So it's still kind of a baby, but I had just really amazing results, amazing feedback when I jumped in, and we've just been going nonstop. And we just launched. I started with Project Broadcast. That's where the content was available through. But we just launched actually at the 1st of February, just a month ago, with GetOiling. And so it's very exciting. I'm loving just connecting with more GetOiling people and meeting more of the team through GetOiling, and just I'm loving it. So we offer monthly content, so it's seasonal, month by month, through text and email, but then also with like a big picture annual strategy, so that, you know, if you a year at a glance, you know, you're helping move your people through the entire Young Living lifestyle over the span of that year.
Awesome. Awesome. And so you're providing this content on a monthly basis, but you have, in light of this global moment, you've decided to actually create some special resources that you've been sharing with your team. Tell us a little bit about the reasoning behind that. And of course, you guys, you're going to see what that looks like here in just a little bit. Again, this is a free thing that Jen's giving away, but I really just want to give the floor over to you, because there's a shift, there's a mental shift we have to take here, right? And it is something that you are already doing with your Modern Companion content. This is very much in alignment with how you already operate and the content you create. But you know, tell us a little bit more about the reasoning behind this shift, and really what that means in terms of the relationship building and spreading hope.
Absolutely. And you guys have to forgive my thieves cough drop. I'll take it out in just a second, but it's either this thing in my mouth or me coughing, because I just was out in the pollen with the kids just a moment ago, and I've got a little cough from it. So yes, you are absolutely correct. So this the content felt, as far as the sort of thing that I would generally provide through Modern Companion, it did not skip a beat. It was just right on track with the normal type of feel, the normal type of wording and verbiage and sentiment that is behind the Modern Companion content. One of my core values is being super relevant, but also very heart-centered. It's yes, we talk product and promos and sales. The content is worded in a very friendly and relational way. It's intended to come across like they know their real friend Jen, or their real, you know, Young Living leader Jen, that they've been, you know, kind of getting to know over the past couple of years. A real person is there on the other end, thinking of them, wanting to send them personal info. So it's not salesy, not spammy, just friendly and genuine. You know, the way that I put together, I told you guys, I mentioned that kind of year at a glance. So I had some things that I had already been thinking about, and I had planned for my my month of Modern Companion content for March. And going into that, you know, I had that outline, but I by no means stick to that outline like it's cement. And so when something comes up like a world event, or maybe it's a shift or promotion or something going on within Young Living, I absolutely stay as flexible as I can to be sensitive to that, and to kind of pivot based on what is really relevant, because I would not feel really awesome and genuine if there is a world quarantine or a pandemic or whatever going on, and I'm just like, hey, who's ready to talk skincare and beauty and just do all this? You know, we had this or you know, it's okay. It's okay to be upbeat and positive still through hard times, but I try to stay very sensitive to real things that are going on. So with that said, we're entering into spring now. I have planned for April. We're going to do a really great spring cleaning with essential oils, thieves, and all of that. We have spring cleaning planned. I had planned in advance something that for Modern Companion that was kind of a precursor to spring cleaning. I was able to, that was a piece of content that I offered this month through Modern Companion membership for organizing your home, because you're going to dive into spring cleaning, you kind of need some ducks in a row so that you can really, get down and dirty and get in there. And so we were able to take that content and tweak it to where it's like, hey, I've already been hearing for a past week, so many people are home, nothing to do. They're going through their drawers. They're going through all their things. And so we were able to kind of just mold and form that content to make it that much more relevant. We already had it ready to go. And I think that was just God preparing us and preparing the content, and just, it was just really great timing, but we were able to make it that much more tweaked and authentic to this time. Another thing, do you want me to go ahead and talk about the free resource that we're offering, Ashley?
Yeah, why not?
Is that good? Okay.
Yep.
I just, talk and talk. So I just want to.
While you're talking about it, I'm going to show them what the actual resource page looks like. Okay. And then I'd like to really chat with you about the, just how you're personally showing up and what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I've got this shared.
I'd love to share that. So one thing that I also do through Modern Companion is offering team resources, business builder resources. So that might, in the past, that has looked like, for example, sharing prompts. Like, hey, if we want to be sharing on social media, sometimes you kind of, you just hit a wall. And so in the past, I've done prompts for here's 31 days of content ideas. And I really spell it out for people, make it super easy. It's arriving via text. So it also serves as that daily reminder, because sometimes half the battle is just a reminder to share on social media, or a reminder to contact our people. So in the past, it varies month to month. And again, I kind of I change it up to keep it really relevant. But what I had planned for this month, I did have a team business builder team resource planned. I was thinking about doing this, a sharing prompt challenge. And when the rubber met the road and it really came down to it, I thought, I was up late with a little bit of anxiety one night, going to be a little honest. It's just kind of the moment that it hit me. And I was thinking about putting this content together. And, I thought, it's not, everybody is sharing. So what we're seeing online right now, what we're seeing on social media, even what we're seeing in our private Facebook groups a lot, it's looking a little bit different. It's a worldwide event going on right now. It is what it is. And so I decided to really make, to help empower the members of Modern Companion and myself even. This is what I felt I needed as a leader. Let's share a message of hope. Let's share a message of encouragement, positivity, affirmations, and we have our oils to use. And so I wanted to pair it. I did an oil pairing with every day's worth has a suggested oil. And then I just kind of added in, that affirmation. I won't get it. I'll share getting ahead of myself with the details of what's in there. But basically that was kind of the purpose of putting it all together, because I did have a team resource on my schedule for Modern Companion to deliver, but I felt like what we really needed was to stay near to our oils, stay in the right mindset, and to help point people in a positive direction. So we have some prayers, we have some scriptures. I also provided one, a campaign that is completely non-religious, because one of them is very Bible-based, Christian, religious, but not everybody, that's not everybody's jam. And so I provided one that was also just positive affirmations, just a hopeful declaration that you could look at every day. And so all of this was just made available to arrive via text every day. What we love that we can do. So the interesting thing, I will add this in, just a quick story. The interesting thing, I made this, like I said, I like to add in team resources, business builder resources. And this was what was in mind for me. I thought, okay, I'm going to give this to all the Modern Companion friends and everybody. I'm going to tell them, send this to yourself. We have to keep just our minds and hearts and spirits strong and fed, so we can just be pouring onto others from a full cup. That's really important for leaders right now. Let's not get drained. And that was really what I felt we were going to do. We're going to send this to ourselves. And I told everybody, send it. If your team member wants that, if anyone on your team wants this, here's an invitation. So I created a saved reply so they could send it out and they could allow their team to opt it in. And I was thinking really business builder morale is what I was thinking. Well, I started seeing message after message that people loved it so much and wanted to send it to their entire downlines. So next thing you know, it's amazing because this has already gotten in the hands of thousands of people, and the leaders are just giving me these tearjerker responses. They're in tears. I'm in tears. Their members are encouraged and in tears from what I've heard. This is this feedback, and so that was a huge reason that I'm just wanting to share this for free for everybody, because it's just a message that people need right now.
Awesome. And guys, if you are with GetOiling, then check the chat here. And of course, if you're watching this as a replay, there's a link right below the video. You can click this link, and if you're logged into your account, all you have to do is click that you agree, check the box, and then these things will arrive in your saved replies and in your campaigns, right? That you've got those two formats for this, right?
Absolutely.
So send it to yourself to receive this affirmation. Let's just to shift a little bit, kind of speaking to the topic at large. What are some things that you're doing right now, just on a personal level, and the way that you're interacting in your business? How are you showing up differently right now, to make sure that you're leading the way and spreading hope?
That's a good question. It's kind of a question. I feel like it's something I kind of have to reset on every day. I think we can all agree that things are changing rapidly. We get news that might be kind of hard to hear. We get good news. I mean, there's information we are getting all the time right now. And I'm kind of, going from temper tantrum to temper tantrum throughout the day also. And so
we've got 3 at home.
I do. Yeah. I do. Thankfully, my husband, he also works at home. And so we're able to just kind of help, give each other little breaks, so super thankful for that, because it could be worse. Yeah. So one thing, so I sent the campaign to myself. So I love this, that we can do that. You can send it to yourself. And so for me, it's every day I've got that. It's a scripture. It's a prayer. The prayers are like declarative prayers. And so, and the words of affirmations are also the words, well, that's kind of the nature of words of affirmation, but they're kind of written in a way of something you can just speak over your day, speak over yourself, over your life. I've been using a lot of, so anyways, I have that as a reminder. So going to that and just stopping and having that moment to pause, reflect on that. Definitely having to block out some rabbit holes on social media that you could. I mean, there's so many great articles of news and lots of stuff that you could be clicking. And so when it comes to just staying focused on what I'm sharing in my group page, I am just keeping the content just really I have this balance of just very relevant. This is helpful for people right now. Some things that's like, hey, who can we build up and encourage? Who are our nurses right now? We want to know, who you are. We want to hear about your story and what's going on. We did a shout out for all first responders, and kind of a nice chat going through there, and people tagging people and just giving pats on the backs to these people who we appreciate so much right now. And then also definitely huffing the oils. Believe oil and hope have been my go-tos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this is an unprecedented time, of course, and we're all very, very sharply aware of that. And it is challenging to rise to the occasion, right? And to maintain that posture, because we're all human. We have emotions. We are impacted, and we can't just pretend like we're not affected. But then on the flip side, we also can't be tone deaf, right? So you want to promote and grow your business still in this time. And I think that what you were sharing in terms of sort of adjusting the language in the materials that folks are getting from you this month is really around that awareness. Hey, everybody's at home right now, right? So I bet you're doing some cleaning.
It's, it provides a healthy channel for people to focus on, because we're going to get through this. Life is going to keep going on. Life will probably look totally different in so many ways, and we are going to persevere through that, and we're going to make the most of it, and we are going to adapt. And I think that our country is great at that. I think we are great at that. And, it is true. It's a struggle because we have these stressors around us, and I've been in a multiple, just cross line and, just chats with other leaders, just different pockets of friends that I've made over the years. We have different conversations going on, and I've heard so many people, I'm having a hard time focusing on my business right now. I feel like I'm getting all wrapped up in this and that, and I haven't even, it's a struggle is real. And then there's also the struggle of what is okay to share right now. Should I share my amazing, should I share about my hand sanitizer because like the people really need it, or is that really bad to be all like, look what I got, or I can sell you something right now? And I think that everyone's just kind of hyper aware of the good and how it can swing really good this way and be a great thing, but also how it could be perceived by some who are also maybe viewing it through eyes of stress as just another thing. And I've just heard from several leaders just kind of walking on eggshells a little bit as far as what to share, and also just feeling like they need to really focus in on their business. And for me, for my personality type, for my Enneagram, I'm a 3 wing 2, so I love to feel like I'm succeeding at something and get things done. But that 2 wing, I just want to help and I want to serve. And so for me personally, I am really focusing on just getting online events. Everyone is online anyways. And so to me, I'm like, I have a solution for that. Let's give us something very helpful, productive to focus on. And it's similar with the text and email content. It's like, well, if that's arriving in that's a positive, healthy, helpful thing to focus on, whether it's, the positive affirmation campaign, or if it's, hey, here's, how the oils you can be diffusing for emotional support as you're decluttering. And, that's a very emotional process for a lot of people, or just the various pieces of content. It's something positive that people can focus on. And then even through Modern Companion, I'm feeling so grateful that through this time when people kind of are looking so many directions, I want to see Young Living businesses grow and maintain through this time. We've already seen an amazing month in February, and this demand for their products, March. I don't know what month it is, you guys. 2020, I'm telling you, what a year. We've seen this strong month, but I want to see that continue going forward. I care about helping leaders, businesses be supported and having tools in their hands that matter. And I don't want them to, I don't want leaders to look back and be like, oh shoot, the whole spring, I didn't even stay connected, or I didn't, take opportunities to gain influence with my downline. And now we're in the summer, and, I feel so thankful that I can offer a tool through the content and just relationship building through Modern Companions, to where leaders don't have to be racking their brains and just beyond exhausted trying to do it all, because none of us can do it all, but having that content ready to go to where they can just love on their people. And I'm just focusing on, to answer your question, coming full circle, just focusing on just being what positive things can I do? How can I serve? How can I stay productive in a healthy way? That's what I'm doing, girl.
So you mentioned, and this is a way, because I think, excuse me, it would be really helpful for us to maybe give some examples of how people can sort of follow suit in this way. So you mentioned having online events. So how are you doing that? Is this something that you are putting together just for the community you're a part of at large, like on Zoom, or is this more for your members? What does that look like?
Well, I have actually, I have several. I've got a couple in the real pipeline, and I have several that I'm just kind of chewing on and just really just thinking through what the best strategy would be for that. But I do have one already on the books for my my downline, but we are really going to it's opened up to anybody, and so I'm really encouraging the people, the leaders, the sharers, anyone in my downline, bring people in. It's completely open. It's not a members only. So I think that's really important for, and we might even think of some ways to maybe like dual stream it, to where it's like to where just people can see it maybe in different platforms. But yes, it's definitely with my personal team, we're having a very open door policy of what we're learning, what we're sharing. I try to keep my group just very, it's a very life-giving, upbeat, no drama environment. And so that's even good just for people to, come on into that and, make a friend, hang out.
Everybody needs that breath of fresh
Everybody
air right
needs it.
now.
Yeah,
Get out of your news feed and come hop into this place, right? That's
mm-hmm.
yeah, that's an enormous value actually. And I think a lot of us really overlook that a real selling point of being a part of this overall oily community is that you are able to be a part of an intentional community of people who
Absolutely.
are consciously elevating each other and themselves with that common goal. And there are a few things in this world more valuable than that sort of mastermind, if you will. That's huge.
I completely agree. To your point, my sister was telling me this story. She just, stumbled across something. She was watching some, it was like a reality show or something, where it was just showing a work environment. And she was like, she's like, I mean, I cry every time the way she kind of just listed off some qualities and characteristics of this work environment, that they're just genuine cheerleaders for each other. And everyone's always, in it to all this. And I was like, I have that every day. How do people not have that? I was like, how do people not have that? But I was just recognized how blessed I am. And that just makes me want to just bring in more, it's real. It's real. So,
right.
Yeah,
and so guys, how we could turn this around and make this an actionable thing for you. You should really seek right now to cultivate that kind of environment, even if it's just one of you and you want to bring one more person in, two more people in to love on and to provide this community and uplift for. It starts with you. If you don't have it, it starts with you. If you're not seeing it in the community that you have, it starts with you, right? Make that commitment to really create the thing that you want to see happening. And I think that this really kind of folds into what we need to talk about here in a higher way, which is being of service first to others. Because when you create that environment, the recommendations and thus the sale of product, those things flow. Right? If you're creating an environment of service first, if you're cultivating a mindset of service first, the recommendations, the purchases follow. You don't have to worry about making a sale. It's not keeping people engaged so that they'll buy something next month. It's keeping people engaged because you want to serve them and build a relationship with them. Jen, I would love to hear what your thoughts are and maybe some of, your practices above and beyond the content, just in your personal business, right? The way that you're operating, how you serve first. And then of course, we want to get into what relationship building means, because I think a lot of people sort of quantify that, like, oh, I need to reach out 3 times, or like, their order number isn't up to where it needs to be. And so maybe I should call them, when that's like the last point in the process that we should be calling them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
I would love to share. So this is one thing that I just did a few days ago, actually, and I've done this before, and it always gets really great engagement. You can do this if you are texting your members through GetOiling, or if you are moving towards that, or if you're doing email, Facebook group. You can whichever way you prefer, or you could do it in multiple. I really am a believer in the multiple avenues approach to connecting and sharing things. This is a true coincidence because I happen to have this sitting right here. So I got these really handy little brochures. It's from oil supply store, but it's just recipes for rollers. And typically for me, I'm not like a big brochure person. It's not something I send out all the time or anything like that. But anyway, so one thing you can do, if you have a few of these laying around, if you have a few, it could be anything, but any tool or resource, something that's going to help somebody dig in, learn a little bit. I'm trying to think of the one that I sent. Sarah Harnish had made these small little, they were very amazing information in these. The name of it is slipping my mind. But anyways, just small, easy to mail booklets. But what you can do, just take a picture of yourself holding it. Not of yourself, but just, I just did a picture like this. Just here I am holding it. And basically offering it to people. Offering value to others, no strings attached. It's not attached to a promo or a call to action or a time sensitive deal or anything like that. But if it's like if you're going through, you guys can see I've got all these books and just stuff I've accumulated over the years behind me. If you are a person in a similar place, if you're like, hey, I've got 10 of these sitting around and I don't have any classes on the books right now. I just need to get rid of these things. There are people in your downline who need some of that stuff, people who have fallen through the cracks. I just posted this one on the rollers, and there's a lot of people commenting like, oh yeah, I don't know, it's easy for us to sometimes think everybody knows how to make all the rollers. Everybody knows all the things, but there are people who need that just little value adds that is just no string attached. Basically, it's kind of to summarize it, but I've gotten, 50 or 80. The first time I did this, I got about 80 responses of people responding to me over text I created a tag. You can go and see everyone who has not ordered in 6 months, or everyone who is currently 0 PV, or who's about to go inactive in 3 months, or whatever. And you can just create a really just thoughtful, great tag and say, assuming you have connection established via text, if you're texting, I always recommend establishing connections so they know who you are. They don't think you're spamming them and you're some, wrong number situation, but just sending them out, say, hey Jen, I was just thinking about you and a couple other Young Living members, and I saw I had a few of these extra. Would you want me to send you one? No pressure. Just let me know. I have them. Be glad to drop you one in the mail. So just sending out things just to add value. But I want to credit that idea to my mentor, though, Sarah Lee, and something else that Sarah Lee really just kind of helped me look at in a fresh way was also, if you are going to send something to somebody, or if you are just, doing anything to add value to someone else's life, it helps us gain influence with the people around us. So whether it's a prospect or downline, it's all about gaining influence. And it's okay to send something in there or add like a little tea bag, even if the bag of tea is not from Young Living. It's okay. So it's like, adding value and just shining light and just shining love into other people's lives, even if it's not all Young Living, but just sharing things for kindness. It will help you build influence and just help you be that much more of a real person on the other side of things. And so might not be a brochure. Even if you don't have any brochures, you can just put together a little bundle of just kind things to share with people. Anybody who's on your heart, whether they're in your downline or a prospect, a neighbor, whoever. And so that's one thing that I am doing personally.
And that's a perfect example of what it really means to build relationships, right? It's moving beyond this transactional idea that you would only be reaching out and touching on this person around them purchasing more oils, right? Or more product. It's about caring beyond that. It's about sharing and providing value above and beyond that. It's not just about educating them on product. It's about caring about their kid's soccer game, right? It's about knowing that they really like some kind of tea or product, like you mentioned, that's not Young Living. Like it's okay for you to have a more dynamic relationship than that, and you really should, because that's what building relationships means. It means that you are showing up for them, right? Not as an opportunist, but as a valued member of their circle who wants to contribute positively to their life. Who's getting some value from this? Who's understanding where we're coming from here? This is really, at the end of the day, if you're wondering how you can approach, and actually share in this time, right? And then we have a question here that I want to address very specifically, if you can see that, Jen. When you get hung up on, well, how can I talk about this? Can I talk about this? Remember that if you are doing your part to show up authentically and in service to others consistently over time, when you show up to make a recommendation, it's not going to be received as opportunistic. It's going to be received as helpful, because that's what you've been. That's what people have come to see and know you as. So if you have not been paying it forward in your life and the way that you're operating, the time to start doing that is now. But make it a thing that you don't just do because of the moment we're in, but a thing that you make a practice of overall and forever. And I think that's how most people do operate. We just don't necessarily see, how does it move the needle? How does it, help me re-rank this month? At the end of the day, it does, right? Like showing up in that way does accomplish those things, because it supports more of that happening. I'm going to give this back to you. We had a question from Melody asking, what are some ways I can help others during this time of crisis, having a very low income without coming across as having an agenda?
Helping others. I don't see this question. Helping others.
It's on the Q&A.
Okay. Oh, I'm like scrolling through the chat. I'm like, where?
Oh, okay.
I've never done Q&A on Zoom before, so you learn something new every time. Okay, so all right, okay, thank you. Sorry, I should have just read this along with you when you said it out loud. Okay, well, I think that Melody, I don't know if you're doing the two-way text yet or the email, but definitely grab the prayer and affirmations campaign, because I've been blown away by the feedback that I've gotten from it, and there's some other people, Floyd, and just there's some other great feedback that I do see in the chat as well from people in here who are using it. So I think personally for me, like nothing, when you're praying for somebody, when you're speaking life over somebody with these affirmations, there's just, there's few things that are going to hit home and mean something to somebody, just like it's like, hey, it's a handwritten note, or to know you're praying for me. It comes across just as so genuine and authentic, and it is. And so I think that completely free, and aside from your text or email credits or whatever, but if you already have that tool, it's a great way to use it. The oils themselves are so thrifty. I mean, when we're making like rollers, for instance, this is another event I've been thinking about, is just getting like Team Young Living together to talk about like true wellness, but on the cheap. Because when I first started 6 years ago, so many people were on the DIY, stuff like this, the rollers, and just figuring out DIY, because it was saving us so much money from not buying so many things at the store. And so if you can share education on that and like empower people around you to learn that and saving money, I don't know if that's exactly what you really were thinking of, but I just kind of threw that in there because the oils themselves being so thrifty when we're making rollers and just products and things like that is something that has been on mind for me. But if you have a stash of oils that you can use to make rollers for other people, or to make bath bombs, shower steamers, all of these DIYs that we love and know so well in Young Living, they are so thrifty. They are so economical as gifts. And that's actually that was another idea I had for myself, Ashley, actually, to the question you asked, some things I'm doing. I've been thinking, I have a very large neighborhood. I think there's lots of nurses, lots of doctors, lots of first responders. And I've been thinking, what can I package or bundle that's super affordable, super easy just to give out? I've been thinking through wellness rollers. I'm like, I don't know if, you never know if people really get it or if they'll use them or what they'll feel, but I thought a really good sleep roller is a really great way to love on the people around us with the tools that we have, because sleep is healthy. We need that deep restorative sleep. We know how it impacts our health. And when you're stressed and dealing with some of the hard things that some of these first responders are dealing with that I can't even wrap my mind around, honestly, I think that's just kind of an amazing gift to be able to share, just to help them just turn off the mind, let today be water under the bridge, start fresh and refreshed tomorrow, because we know how you feel when you wake up the next morning after you've been lathered down with oils on the feet. Everybody needs to know that. And so that's kind of an idea I've got up my sleeve that I would say is very thrifty and is a great way to serve. So I'll just throw that one out there.
I love that. So Melody, you can focus on education. Of course, we're not going to be able to necessarily change someone's circumstances, but we can help to change their mindset. We can help to give them hope and to empower them toward things that they can do right now. I think that's probably the most important thing, right? If you are, are someone who is deeply financially impacted right now by what's going on, or your wellness is impacted, or just however it is that this is impacting you, or if you are showing up for someone who is, the best thing that you can do is point their gaze in the direction of what they can do, right? Like where is up, and how can we go up together, no matter what that means. And this doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be able to sell a thieves kit to this person, right? But what was it? I think it was Maya Angelou that said people don't remember what they say, what you say. I'm butchering this, but they're going to remember how you made them feel, right? People are going to remember you showing up and caring, and that's going to matter, right? And it's not just about your business. This is what it means to serve first. This is what it means to build relationships. It's about having that detachment from outcome. I don't care if you ever buy this from me. I know your life will be improved if you do one day when you decide to, but I just want to do this thing for you, right? Be that person, show up that way. Because no one's going to, I mean, there is no agenda there, right? The agenda is to serve. And of course, if what happens as a result of that is them taking advantage of what you're sharing, great. But if not, great. I hope I helped you. There was a question here from Susan. Hi, Susan. If there's content in your membership, what you offer with Modern Companion for Facebook posts?
Okay, Modern Companion does not currently have any Facebook content available. So the content is text and GetOiling, through GetOiling, text and email. So it's all formatted, ready to go, ready to be shipped out with just a couple clicks through GetOiling that way. And I do have it on my radar for adding in Facebook content down the road, but I'm just really, it's not something currently available.
Not just yet, but I would say this, right? If you're using Jen's content and you see the things that she's posting that would go out via text or via saved reply, just observe the language that's being used and have that inform a post that you might make on Facebook, right? Because
yes, I think it can serve as some great inspiration to follow along. Yeah, I think you could get a lot of great content ideas from it for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, your text campaigns especially are geared toward, and your email too, but everything is geared toward getting someone to respond and have a conversation with you, right?
Right.
And that's exactly what you want to accomplish when you get on Facebook. I know some people like to get on Facebook and blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to like spout my stuff out here. But the right strategy with Facebook or any social platform is to move an engagement, right? To get someone to participate in a conversation with you. So if it works in text, it's going to work on Facebook too. All right. There was a question here about Stephanie. Let's see. Stephanie asked, I want to do a Zoom and screen share presentation. Is that possible through the website? Yes. With GetOiling, Zoom is included. So you can have a Zoom meeting. You can meet privately. You could also broadcast your meeting onto a Facebook Live, onto YouTube. And I think there was one other, I forget what
it can be like they call it like a custom service. So you can basically connect it to anything, I think, that accepts streaming.
Perfect. Yeah. So no need for a separate Zoom membership. All right. So Darlene asks, and I believe this is going to be for you, Jen. Are you sending a personal message with your picture and those brochures, or posting it in a group? Like, would you post to your personal Facebook page or profile, Instagram, when you're offering up those brochures?
You know what I have done, in Modern Companion, I have it laid out like a little path of getting your texting and emailing up off the ground, launched, ready to go. So I have it ready for someone who's totally brand new. Everybody might not need this. Some people already have established relationships, but in case somebody comes on board, just in case, who is brand new, I recommend establishing, sending a picture of yourself if you have one, establishing connection, just saying, hey, this is who I am and why I'm texting you. And then what we do, then we have them on a weekly texting system. So every week you have a tip that you send out. And so through Modern Companion, it's all provided for you. I say that to say, generally, you kind of, the people who you're texting know who you are, after a few texts and after you've introduced yourself and you've helped welcome them or establish connection or whatever. It's going to be different depending on if they're like a brand new member that you just enrolled or if there's someone who's been in your downline for 50 years or whatever. So it's going to be different. But generally speaking, I do not, like for these, I did not send like a picture here, like here I am, hold this. Like I did not send that out because, I wouldn't do that to my best friend. That's the main reason. I try just to think through how is it perceived on the other side, and just be, if you would send that to your best friend, do it. If you're texting your best friend, I don't know, most of the people that I text are people who I don't know in person. And so anyways, I just held this over just kind of right here in my house, just really casually. And I just snapped a picture of it. They're used to hearing from me. And I would just say, hey, I found a few of these and I was thinking about you and some of my other, friends and Young Living, and just curious if you'd want one. I'd be glad to drop it in the mail. With this, I've done that before over text. With this in particular, I did the exact same thing, but just did it in Facebook. I have been sending out the prayer and affirmation campaign. I have been doing an immunity basics and home organizing with oils through a stressful time. Like I've been staying in touch pretty well over text here in the past few weeks. So I opted to not text another thing right now, and I just put it in Facebook. But I have a lot of these, so I might send some out over text for those 0 PVs or whatever in a few weeks. So I think you can tweak it to just it's just using your intuition in the moment for where you want to put that content.
Okay, I want to flag something real quick, you guys. I don't know if you missed this, but I hope that you write this down and remember this and have it guide everything that you do, whether it's a text or a Facebook post or a direct message. If you wouldn't do it in a message to your best friend, it might not be the right move to make. You are so when you're sending stuff out to people that you know, that you don't know, you are writing it, whether it's going to one person or 1,000 people, you're writing it like you're sending it to your best friend. Right?
Totally agree.
I love that. You guys, raise your hand. You like that? Show of hands. Does that make sense? Does that make it feel easier, right? What do I say? What do I say? Say it like you're going to say it to your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. Okay. We're just going to keep going through the Q&A here. Guys, please continue if you have questions to pop them into the Q&A box. What's that?
I said keep them coming.
Yeah, keep them coming. All right, so Lisa asked, is the two-way texting available for GetOiling for the US, or will it adapt to each country? Lisa, we are in 200 countries with text. So send an email to support to confirm what country you need to know about, because we're in 200 of them. All right. Lori says, thank you for the bundle. It looks awesome. Where can we find the training videos on GetOiling for setting up texting and other features? Just getting started on the gold modules and wanted to see what GetOiling has too. So if you're talking about Jen's, setting Jen's stuff up, that she's got information and training inside of her group. If you are with Modern Companion, she's got that stuff done. If you're talking about GetOiling generally, lots of information on how to use the platform and everything that you need to know. There is a little teal question mark down at the bottom right hand side of the page when you're logged in. You can type anything in there, and there is like a 99% chance you're going to find exactly what you're looking for. In the event that you don't, you can always reach out to support, and you're going to get a super fast, friendly response from our amazing team. So in terms of setting up texting, there are multiple videos on this. There's also in-depth training on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GetOiling can go into this in great detail as well. All right. Sharon says, I just sent the campaign to myself and it sent me all 10 texts in a row. Is that what should happen? I thought it was 1 text a day. Greg, there's a specific setting, right?
It sounds like maybe, Sharon, I don't know if you did this, but it sounds like maybe you've chosen the fast text campaign, which does that. It just basically does them back to back. The normal campaign, if you just add it the normal way, assuming it is, Jen, you can probably confirm how it's set up, but if it is 1 a day, then it should just drip out 1 a day as normal.
It should be set up to 1 a day, so we can confirm on our end if Sharon's just saved everybody else from having a little problem.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, we have basically 2 texting options with GetOiling where you can drip out over the specified number of days. It could be any interval of days in between messages, but you also have the fast campaign option if you want to just say text out a class where it's by the minute as opposed to by the day. So definitely check that setting, Sharon. Yes, she did choose fast text. Confirmed. No problem. Okay.
Happens to the best of us.
Yes, yes. And keep it in mind when you send it to others. And there are instances.
Test it.
Yes, test it first.
Yep.
Test it first. But this is just so you know that there is a use for that rapid text feature. So if you have, again, a text-based class, it's actually a really great way to deliver that, is to do that in minute increments as opposed to days, to keep that that time frame a little shorter. Awesome, awesome. Okay, what else we got here? Let's see, what is the affirmation thing you've mentioned? So Melody, there are affirmations in this campaign. Jen, would you be open to maybe just sharing one verbally for those who aren't, that don't have GetOiling, who, might not be able to take advantage of this right away?
Yes, I don't have them in front of me and I don't have them memorized. So I can pull them up though.
Awesome.
All right.
Oh, Susan, to send a campaign to yourself, just make sure that you are listed in your contact manager as yourself, right? So add yourself like you're a contact, and then apply the campaign to yourself so that you can test it out to your contact file in your contact manager. All right, and we've got a question here about how you're different from other providers and what the subscription is. Guys, if you go over to getoiling.com and scroll down, we actually show the different providers that we work with. You can look at their various offerings. You can obviously watch the different YouTube videos that we have done with different providers to get a feel for what they have to offer and how they're different. My advice to you guys is to try everyone and use what really resonates the most with you. Use the content that makes the most sense to you. I think that a great majority of you guys actually get content from 3 or 4 providers. So there's a lot on offer here and everything's super reasonable. So look on our website for that. Okay, are you ready to share?
I'm ready. I've got all of them in front of me, so it'll be hard to pick which ones. I know. So the first one that's going to go out, now these are the affirmation ones. So there's one campaign that's affirmations. There's one campaign that is scriptures. And the scripture, this Bible scripture, that is not, I don't know. Anyway, so and the ones with scriptures has some declarative prayers with it as well. And then the one that's affirmations, there's no prayer, there's nothing else. Well, both campaigns have an oil pairing and something that you a quality or an emotion or whatever that you might consider sharing with others, like share hope today with those around you, share encouragement today. Anyways, so for the affirmations, the first one says, I am free to rest and be still today. We've got another day that says, I am capable, strong, and worthy. Let's see. My future is bright and beautiful. I am deserving of abundance and good things. So it's, some of them are just very, speaking to yourself and just, where we're at. Other things are just kind of, speaking just kind of to the world and just through these times that we're getting through. And so, anyway, so that's a little teaser for you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Guys, so what this means is if you're using GetOiling and you take advantage of this free bundle that Jen is offering, you can be the uplift, right? Like this will help to facilitate you just showing up in that little way in someone's life each day and reminding them something that they really need to hear, right? That is so cool. Let's see. We had any questions. If we skipped any of your questions, it's in the chat. Definitely do make sure you bring them over here to the Q&A. I think we're seeing some GetOiling questions roll through here. Lisa asks, if I add a person to a campaign once it has begun, do they get all of the previous messages, or does it start from the day of the campaign? So Greg, do you want to get that?
Yeah, I can grab this one. I mean, it depends on the campaign. So by most campaigns, if you just, create them, what they're going to do is everyone gets all the messages from the beginning based out and timed out based on relative to the day that they were added to the campaign. Now there is an option, and I'm not screen sharing here, but when you're setting up the campaign, there's like a, I forget the field, it's called like start on this date or based on this date or something like that, where you can, those, which is really good for say an event that is on a specific date, because in that case, then that will just add people kind of wherever they should be. So if they join late, then they only get day 0 plus whatever messages that they haven't, that haven't been set out. So it is possible to do it either way, actually, to answer the question.
Cool. So yeah, if you started a campaign like on the 1st of March, for instance, and it's something that's time sensitive, then then there are some considerations to make. But if somebody just decided that they wanted to, let's say you wanted to use this thing that Jen created, and you added a bunch of people to it today, but maybe next Tuesday somebody says, well, I'd like to get that information too. They would just start receiving it from the first, the whole campaign starting at that point. And somebody could join, a different person could join the campaign on any day of the week, and they're going to be at whatever date they are relative to where they started. Got a question here about contacts, and this is going to relate, I think, to the tree viewer, Greg. So Deb says, different topic, the Modern Companion. I'm new to GetOiling and have spent time this week setting up my site. I imported from my virtual office, and the import included people under members in my downline. Because I don't want to overload people, should my contacts only be people directly under me?
Yeah, so I mean, this, I guess, I've seen people, it depends on really the size of your team and how many people are down there, and if you have strong leaders down there. Some people, I've heard of some people, they'll have like, say, one leg that's got a leader that's really strong, and she's emailing people all the time and in contact, and so you might want to exclude her. Or maybe another twist on this is you just want to message a personally enrolled. I guess that's another thing that I've seen done. But either way, there is a tree viewer feature in the system, in the contact manager, right next to the actions button. It looks like a little, it looks like kind of a little tree thing, outline icon. Click on it and it switches it to the organizational view. And then you can click on each one of the, each of the legs that you want to message. And then there's a way of doing that. In fact, I'll paste in a link here to the tree viewer help article here after I'm done talking here. But yeah, there's definitely a way to do it.
Awesome. Yeah. So strategically speaking, Deb, if you would prefer to only regularly send out things like blog posts or, whatever it is that you like to send out to a specific set of people, what you can do is once you select those people in your organization, whether you're using the tree viewer or searching by name, depending on how big your organization is, you can add a tag to those contacts. And then when you do send out an email class or a text class or an invite to something or other, and you only want it to go to those people, you would filter your contacts for that tag and then perform that action, apply that campaign, send that message, and so on. Okay. Lisa asks, just wanted to share that I have only been using GetOiling for 10 days, and that already led to 3 one-on-ones and 3 premium kits purchased. Wow.
Wow, nice. Congratulations.
Yes. Wow. Wow, Lisa, that's amazing. And congratulations. Wow. So I love seeing these stories. All right. Jen asks, if most of my prospects are on Facebook and I don't have phone numbers for them, but I want to use these as an offer to anyone who wants them, what is the best way to offer an opt-in and have the name attached to the phone number? If I message people with the text-in number and the keyword, the campaign, oh, got it. Okay, so basically, as it works right now, if you're using the text-in campaign, if they're a new contact for you, the phone number is not going to have a name attached to it. So good question. What you could do is create a landing page. And right, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Here's my thinking here. You create a landing page. Obviously, they would need to opt in with their name, email, and phone number. But the campaign that you attach to it, if you set the campaign to text only.
Yes. Yep, that would work.
Then yeah, so then that way you're getting the full contact info. They will have to opt in via a landing page, not by text in, but they would still receive that campaign via text. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Yep. Okay, and we have like we've got campaign videos all over our YouTube channel, like in our help articles. So you'll be able to find that there. Okay, cool beans, you guys. Great questions today and great testimonials today too. Anybody have any more questions? Jen, is there anything else you'd like to add on here before we get going?
I don't think so. I feel like I've talked y'all's ear off already, so I think I'm good.
Awesome. Well, we are grateful to have you. Grateful to have all of you. Yeah. So guys, the link, the link below this video and the recording in the chat right now, for those of us who are here, that is where you can get the thing that Jen is giving away. If you go to getoiling.com/modern companion, you can learn more about what Jen has to offer, the content that she's creating and sending out. Of course, this thing that she's offering right now, you don't need to pay a dime for. She's just giving this to you guys. So let's hear some thanks and some love for Jen in the comments here. Let her know that you were glad that she's here with us today. I know we certainly are. And yeah, guys, come back here every week. GetOiling.com/weekly work session. That's where you can register to be on these live calls. If you're watching this as a recording, if you need any help, any support, this is a place for you to come. You don't have to be a member of the GetOiling community when you join these sessions. We're here to help you. We're here to uplift this community and to help all of you be of greater service to your own. So again, thank you guys. Thank you, team. We are really grateful to be here and look forward to seeing you guys back here next week.
Thanks, everybody.